Tyranids are one of the scariest species in Warhammer 40k. A giant swarm of planet devourers. Their very approach strikes fear and chaos as they enter the system. They not only have large numbers, they also have pretty good tactics. They're able to adapt to situations. So they have a perfect mix of quantity and quality. They're a cancer eating away at the Imperium and one of the biggest threats that the galaxy is aware of. And to demonstrate that, there is a truly horrifying excerpt from The Last Hunt, which is a White Scar novel, talking about what happens when a crew is actually consumed by one of these bioships, these giant hive species. Now I'm going to read this excerpt for you, just a small taste, and it is truly gross. So for a little background, the ship has already been consumed. They are in the stomach of this bioship, and this is what the crew is going through. Did you hear that? Syrian said. It was the first time she'd spoken since seeing the bioship. They all listened, breath held, straining to hear over the groan of adamantium and Corday's muted sobs. Eventually Davrick caught what Serene had detected. A faint scratching, scrabbly noise, as though someone or something was scraping across the outside of the hull. It mirrored the scratching, tormenting all of them inside of their own skulls. "They're on the hull," Davrick said. Before he could go on, a crash shattered the breathless quiet. The section directly above Crassus' chair in the center of the station's cockpit collapsed. With it came a flood of broiling green liquid that struck Crassus just as he looked up. If the old sensorum managed to draw breath to scream, the bioacid flooded his mouth, throat, and lungs before he could make a sound. Davrick caught an impression of his death as he was lost eternally in the torrent. Flesh slogging from bones, organic consumed in a heartbeat. The rest of the crew recoiled, but too slowly. Serene, nearest to the center of the cockpit, was struck by the acidic spray. Her hands went up to her exposed face, and her screaming filled the claustrophobic space. "No!" Ancom wailed, lunging across its bench to catch the augur analyst as she collapsed. He managed to drag her hands away from her face, then recoiled. Her features had already been reduced to the pock-marked bone, her eyeballs running like liquid from their sockets, meat and tendons slipping away with her fingers. Still she screamed. Ancom doubled over and was sick. And that was just a small taste, guys. It's absolutely metal. So not only do you have to worry about them on the ground, but if you're in space, if you're in your ship, you can be eaten and digested alive. Truly one of the most terrifying things in Warhammer 40k.